So in this core Java tutorial, we are going to discuss about how to create projects with Netbeans. Actually, I don't have Eclipse or anything else. So I have Netbeans here. You can use any ID, your choice. So in this we have a file and we can create new project. So I'm creating new Java project over here. So we will discuss very basics program. So we will start from our hello world program only. So this is my demo application, and here I don't want any class. Okay, so I created one empty project here. Okay, so it has some default package. So what are packages we will discuss later. So Java is object oriented programming language first of all. So in object oriented there are some concepts you need to know. So what are oops object oriented programming system or structure, you can say anything. So what are oops concepts? Oops concepts mainly are three. First, encapsulation. What is encapsulation? And second one is polymorphism. Third one is inheritance. So one is our inheritance. Third one is our inheritance. Okay, so these are main concepts of object oriented programming structure or system. Apart from that, we have also abstraction, and we have class. Class is a blueprint, and we have objects for it. Okay. So these are you can mention. First, majorly three concepts here to understand object oriented programming structure or system. So what is encapsulation? Encapsulation means we have two parts and we are binding it together. So first of all, understand what is encapsulation. So we have, okay, with the help of paint we can understand what is our encapsulation. What are the part exist in our typical Java class. First of all, I will create a class so that you can understand what is class exactly. So the class, sorry, sorry. So I am creating a class so that you can understand what is a class. So the class name is some ABC. You can choose any name. So remove this unnecessary stuff here. So you can see here in this blue you have public and one class, and the name of class is ABC and our file name is abc.java. Okay, so we are creating abc.java class here. So what is necessary for it? These curly braces are mandatory for any class. If you are creating This is a class, nothing more than that is required. Okay, so it is sufficient for a class. So apart from that, what class contains? So it contains two parts. First part, data member. What it contains? Data members and member functions. What it contains? Data member and member functions. Two parts basically it contains. So what is encapsulation in terms of the programmatically? We are writing our data member and member functions inside the class that is called encapsulation. So data members like we have int I comma j, these are our data member, and member function some void function a, this is my member function. So binding it together. Okay, so this is, so suppose we have yeah, so this is our class a abc, sorry, this is our class abc, this abc. So in this class what we have data member and member functions. So this is a capsule, this is a capsule, and this capsule have two parts. Okay, so this part is called data member, data member part. This is we assigned for data member. So our data members are I comma j, type of integer. So and this part for our methods. So in Java we called function as method. In earlier C, C++ you have seen we called function. Function and method are same thing. You need not to confuse. So in Java we called method as function as method. Okay. So this is our function A. Okay. So we are binding it. Why it called encapsulation? It is the form of capsule because we are seeing it as like a capsule. So we are calling it as encapsulation. So binding data member and member function together is called encapsulation. So wrapping, other word you can use, wrapping up data member and member function in a single unit or a single entity is called as encapsulation. So what is the example of encapsulation? Class itself example of our encapsulation. Okay, you cannot write anything outside the class. If you are writing, suppose I try to write intx, so it won't allow. Okay, so it will give some error. Okay, you cannot not write data member and member function outside the class. Outside the class it doesn't allow, but in the C++ it allow to write outside the class. So what the advantage of encapsulation? The advantage of encapsulation is, so if I declare it as private, so no one can access this member as from outside. Why we are writing it private? Suppose you have bank account and you have some amount, main balance. So if I declared as public, in earlier C++ we have some global variable. Similar concept if you follow here, so everyone can access our data. So what is important? Important is data. So we want to secure our data. Okay. So for that purpose we declared it as private. So So it this variable, these variables available only for this particular function or whatever function we are writing in that particular class. Outside the class it won't be available, so no one can modify this data. So we are securing this data also by encapsulation. Okay, so you can write a statement there as out tab inside function a. Okay, so with the class I have explained you. I hope you understand these things. What is encapsulation with programmatically? Okay, so step by step we will go through the. If you have any question, you can comment. All you can also comment me. I will try to answer you as soon as possible. So encapsulation we have understood. After that we have polymorphism. Okay, so poly means many, morphism means form. Okay, poly means many and morphism means form. So uh, one name more jobs. Okay, so understand from here, encapsulation we use for class. Okay, polymorphism we use for method. Remember like this, or whatever you want, no problem. So it is applicable to our function. So suppose if I have one class xyz here. Okay, suppose I have xyz class over here. I have xyz class, and in this class I want to write two function. Okay, like I have in a real-time application I have one login method, and I want a person who can log in with his mobile application, and I have some desktop application who can log in with their desktop application, and also I have some web application. So I need to write three methods for different devices. Okay, so we pass username and password. Okay, and we pass what, from which device we are getting a request. So for that we can write different method. Okay, so I have, suppose I have one method public login. Okay, so public void login. Okay, so what is void over here? Void is a return type. If you don't want to return anything, you can uh, declare function as void. Suppose if you want to return something from here, you have to pass that particular data type. Okay, so what are data types? Data types in Java mainly are eight types of data types available in Java. Suppose I have started from byte. Okay, byte b. Okay, then we have sort s. Okay, then we have long l. Then we have int I. So these are four representation for our integer in type of value, like 1 2 3 4 5. If you want to store, so you can use these data types. If you want to store floating point value, then we have uh, float and double, float f and double d. These are predefined data types in Java. Okay, uh, so for storing float, we have floating point value, we have float and double. Apart from that, for storing boolean value true or false, we have boolean. Okay. So apart from that, to hold character, we have carry data type. Okay, A, B, C, D. Okay, so total 8 data types are available in Java to hold any type of value. If you have integer type of value, you can store in this group. If you have floating point, you can store in this group. If you have boolean and character, you can hold boolean or character. So these are the things basic. I will explain you separately the data types or how much value, uh, which value we need to put in the byte, or which value we need to put in short or long or int. So, suppose a small value, then we can store in byte, little greater than store in short, little greater than. So like this we can improve. Similar for floating point value, if you have a small, if you have you want to store a small amount of data, then you can store in float, or if you have a huge amount of data, then you can store in double, because they accept their memory size is high. Okay, so coming to our polymorphism concept. So it came, that's why I explained, because series. So in minimum time I want to explain you entire Java, so that's why I explain you these data types. We will discuss if something came. Okay, so okay, so polymorphism means writing same function. Okay, login, and here I have int I. We are passing a different parameter. Okay, so we have a login method, but we are overloading it in same class. Name is same, so this is our access modifier. It's a public in nature, and this is our return type, and this is the name of our method. So name is same, but it can have different parameter. So with same name but different form, it is called polymorphism. Polymorphism are two types. Okay, polymorphism, how many types? Polymorphism, two types. Okay, so we have compile time polymorphism, and we have runtime polymorphism. So this is our method overloading. What is method overloading? And in runtime polymorphism, so method overloading, compile time, compile time polymorphism. Okay, compile time, method overloading, compile time, static binding. Okay, so these are called method overloading, compile time polymorphism, or static binding. So we can call it as a compile time or uh, compile time or static binding, anything you can call it as, or method overloading. So any term, if interviewer asks what is method overloading, what is compile time polymorphism, what is static binding, so you can refer it is a compile time polymorphism or method overloading. We are writing same method, we are using same name but with different forms, so we can differentiate by it. So this is our polymorphism simple way. Okay, after that what we have discussed about. Okay, so we have runtime polymorphism as well, but this is not right time to explain you. In the runtime polymorphism we have parent and child relationship, so I will explain you when I will try to explain inheritance. Okay, so what is polymorphism? Polymorphism is one name more jobs. With simple example I explained you. Okay, so coming to inheritance means what inheritance exactly in the terms of Java. So suppose you have two classes. Okay, suppose you have two classes. Okay, class A. Okay, class A has some variable int a comma b. Okay, some function a. Okay, return type void. Okay, and one statement as out tab side function a of class a. Okay, so this is a statement. So I have one class and I have another class. Okay, I have another class b. So in that b class, okay, remove this stuff. Okay, in this b class I have int l comma n and void function b. Very basic fundamentals. So suppose b class 1 method of a class. Okay, so what we will do, we will copy and paste. Okay, so by this you can use this particular method, but in Java if you extend or make a as private, a as parent, so you can access properties of a from b. So here one keyword introduced in Java, that is extends a. Okay, so what happens programmatically you can see. Suppose you have class, this is our class A and this is our class B. Okay, two class we do have two class A and B, and A has some variables. A has some variables A and B convention. Okay, I can write all of them. So reduce it so that it can. So this is our A class and this is our content of B class. So What relationship we have implemented? A extends B. Here one keyword we have introduced, that is extends. Extends for making parent. So the extends XTNQS small. Okay, so remove it. So here one keyword extends. B extends A means B is a child class and A is a parent class. So here is some word also you need to understand if we are asked to use. Okay, so I will, this is our parent class. What is it? Parent class or base class. Okay, parent class, base class. These are the same term. Okay, child class, or derived class. Child class and derived class are the same, one and the same. Okay, so if we used child class or derived class, you need to understand that is our child class only. Those extends any other class. Okay, and the parent class we are using here for extending. Okay, so this is our extended class, and B extends A. What we call it as B extends A. So B is a child. So for childs, in general, child has all the access for parent, but parent doesn't have access of child's property. Okay, so you can access all the properties available in A. So this is simple term. What is inheritance exactly? So it is a parent-child relationship, simple way. So by which we are creating inheritance. So coming to our, so that this is inheritance in very brief introduction I have given to you. What is inheritance? Inheritance. We are developing parent-child relationships so that our code can be reduced. Suppose we have uh, already exist methods in one class, so we can simply extend and we can use it. Apart from that, we have suppose if you want to class so that it will be executed like this is a frame kind of. Okay, this is a frame. So if our class extends frame, so our application will work as a frame. Suppose your class extends servlet, your application will work as a servlet, so you can request respond to that. If you extend thread class, your application will simultaneously run. You can run your application simultaneously, or your thread you can run simultaneously along with other process of threads. So this is very powerful concepts, I think. Okay. So apart from that, abstraction to achieve abstraction. What is abstraction? Abstractions means showing only essential things. Means that is suppose we have one car. Okay. So what we are seeing, what it looks, and what appearance means. Internally we don't know how its engine works, and we are not seeing the engine working and all, how it's rotating its wheels. So these things we are not able to see. Even in your hand, how its motor works and how it's rotating, you cannot see. So internal how it's work we are hiding and showing only how it's running. Okay? So that is a kind of abstraction we are providing. So abstraction we can achieve in like in our Java by two things. We have abstract class and we have interfaces. Two things available to achieve abstraction in Java. So we have interfaces and we have abstract class. So what is the class exactly? First of all, you need to understand what is a class. So simple definition, class is a user defined data type. What is class? Class is a user defined data type. Here we have some data type I have to clear. So here we have data types. Okay, these are our data types. What are data types? Data, those can store our data is called data type. So we can store byte type of value inside the B. B is the name, this is the type. So this is our what? This is our predefined data type. These are all predefined data types. Okay. So if you want your user defined data type, then you have to go for class. Class is a user defined data type. This is a class. Suppose A is a class. Okay. So A class is also a data type. Which type data type? A type data type. Okay. So we can also use. So these are our user defined and this is my these are our predefined and this is my user defined. We can declare like this. Okay. So this is the name of variable. So we call it as variable or instance variable because we have declared it these variables inside the class. Okay. So to achieve abstraction, we have abstract class. So I explain the class in simple way. A class is a user defined data type. Okay, what it contains? It contains data member and member functions. Okay, apart from that, you can also say. Okay, what is object? Object, simple definition. Object is an instance of class. Okay, what is instance? Instance means dynamic memory allocation. So to run this class, we need some dynamic memory allocation. That dynamic memory allocation is called as object. Okay, an instance is dynamic memory allocation. Okay. So how dynamic memory allocated? Dynamic memory allocated in the RAM. Suppose this is our RAM. Okay, RAM. So in RAM, suppose I want to create object of our A class. Okay, object of A class. What is object? Object is dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation are instance, one and the same thing. Okay, so we are allocating memory for our class A. This is our class A. So I am allocating memory for this class. So how I am able to allocate? So I am writing one method here, that is our public static void main. This is the entry point of our application. So in this method I am writing new of A. What happens when you write this new operator is used to create object of our class A. So you need to pass this argument. This is called our default constructor. Okay, default constructor. So what happens as soon as you write new A, then what happens in the memory, object of A will be start to create, it's initiated its process. So first of all it's execute its constructor and then initialize whatever the data we have. Execution, then initialization and assignment. So what we can do, we can assign A is equal to A is equal to new of A. So in this A class, two types of member available, those who start with static, who doesn't start with static. Int A does not have static, so it is a instance variable. Okay, it is non-static variable. So simple term to understand static and non-static, if I write static here, then it is static. Okay, if it is I'm not writing, then by default it is a non-static. Okay, so these members are non-static, so these will be a part of our object. Okay, so in this particular object we have A and B, A and B. Okay, and we need to initialize this variable. So we have not yet initialized this variable. So by default value of integer is 0. So by default JVM will assign 0 and 0. Okay, so apart from that I can write a function also here because it's available. So what we have assigned? We have assigned A. Okay, so this is our A. So now what happens? This is our memory and this is our variable. So this A is pointing to this memory location. Okay, what is variable? Variable is nothing, is a memory location where our data is stored. Okay, so this is a complete object that is stored in the RAM, and we have reference of that particular object. That is why it is called it as a reference variable. What it is? Reference variable. So A is a reference variable. Okay. So to call this A, how we are able to call? So to call A, we can use dot operator. Can use dot operator. So if I write small a dot A, then what it will print? It will print 0. Okay. How to call? How to call? A dot A, A dot B, A dot function A. Okay. Suppose if I call A dot A, then it will print 0. If I call A dot B, then will print 0. If I a dot function a, then functionality of function a come to the RAM and it will execute its execution whatever the statements we have written inside the function a. Okay, so see how it achieved. I have this out statement here. Okay, so I need to call a dot a. Okay, and this out a dot b. Okay, and I am calling function a dot function a and run this program very easy. Right click, run as, run file. So let's check. So it prints 0 and 0. Okay, so according to this you can understand what is object and what is class. Okay, so class is a user defined data type and we can create any number of object of a class. Okay, as many objects you will create, that it will locate it in the RAM, that is our heap memory. If you understand the Java JVM structure, there is a memory allocation for different uh, uh, objects and methods. So I will explain that later, but this is our very concise uh, tutorial, so that's why I'm not able to elaborate right now, but in the future I will explain each and everything in very much depth. So this is what we need to understand about the class, object, inheritance, polymorphic encapsulation, and apart from that we have interfaces and abstract class. What is abstract class? Abstract class nothing but same as a class. We have abstract class. So how to write it?